All right, y'all, stop what you're doing, please, and take the next 3 minutes to just check in with yourself, to have a heart-to-heart with you and Jesus, and ask yourself, do I truly trust God's governing of this world? Do I trust him, who he is and who he said he is? And do I trust the way in which he is governing this world? And if you say, well, yeah, of course, then I want you to ask yourself, how do you operate when things are outside of your control? Right? When things happen that produce, anxiety and overwhelm or fear in your life, do you all of a sudden revert to, like elementary prayers and kind of basic, you start running, oh my gosh, I'm going to die, Lord, save me. Right? Do you run to this place where all of a sudden you're shaken and you think that you're going to die, that God's left you because of what's happening in your environment? Or do you look around and you see the storms? You see your foundation shaking in the earth, in the world, and yet you say, it is well with my soul, right? Do you have unshakable faith that God is who he says he is and that he is governing in a way that you will be okay, no matter what it looks like on the outside? Today's devotion was all about that. It was really focused on this theme of the theology of rest, and it talked about pulled up the scripture from Matthew 8 where the disciples are in the water and in the boat with Jesus, and the storm is there and they're afraid that they're going to die. And so it says God expects his children to have such faith that they are the reliable ones in any crisis, right? We are supposed to be the ones who are rooted, who are anchored in our faith. And so when turbulence, when trials, when tribulations come and the world is running around like chickens with their heads cut off, we can be refuges. Is that the right word? We can be, sanctuaries. We can be safe spaces where they can come and gather in our presence and feel the presence of God manifest physically, tangibly in the room, right? That's that level of unshakable faith and confidence in God's governing that he wants us to operate with, because we are meant to be, atmosphere shifters, because that is what the Spirit is. And so I just want to invite you to really think about, how am I operating? And do I allow fear to rob me of this anchor that God has already given me freely? And so, when we think like this, it says we show God that we don't have the slightest bit of confidence in him or in his governing of the world. And he is just, his will is that we reach a place of perfect rest, a place of oneness with him. When we are one with God, we will not only be blameless in his sight, but a deep joy to him. And so God just delights in us resting in him. He wants us to have that rest. He gives it to us freely. And all we've got to do is receive it. And how do we receive it? We have to remember and submit our body to what he said in his word.